I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Alright, I missed this one unfortunately in the cinemas, but there's always streaming, and recently I was able to have a look at one of the biggest R-rated movies of all time that seemed to rejuvenate the cinemas. But how was it? Was it worth the wait? Was it fun? Does anyone care? Well, let's have a look. Some spoilers ahead, so be aware. The start is already goofy, but also pretty good, especially as it reminded me of something I wanted to see for a while. Deadpool is digging up Wolverine's corpse, which is only a skeleton at this point, when suddenly some armed guys are appearing and Deadpool is getting ready to fight by ripping Wolverine's skeleton apart and attacking the guys. It's a snowy setting, and as I said, it reminded me of something I wanted to see in a while. It reminded me of something I have played before. X-Men Origins Wolverine, a pretty fun game which showed the bloody action which most Wolverine fans want from an R-rated Wolverine movie. I wouldn't be surprised if the filmmakers were taking the game as an inspiration for this action scene. The action is bloody, well made and well choreographed. I was wondering a bit by how Deadpool was able to rip apart the bones. I would assume they would stick together. But who cares? Also, they cut the action to a great song and dance number, so that's cool. After that we get a short recap of what happened in Wade Wilson's aka Deadpool's life meanwhile, since the second part. Wade is looking for a higher purpose in his life and wants to join the Avengers, but he is rejected. Heartbroken and suffering from a midlife crisis, he starts working as a car salesman, together with his great friend Peter. Soon he is contacted by the TVA, which is proposing Wade to join them and find a purpose in his life. What they didn't tell him though is that the TVA members who contacted him have gone rogue and want to accelerate the destruction of the universes that are dying. One of the universes is Wade's though, and he looks for an anchor being. Unfortunately, his one has died and was the Wolverine from Logan. How the post-apocalyptic Logan world has seemingly happened in the world of Deadpool, I don't quite know, but Deadpool and the Wolverine is not the kind of movie that is trying to have a great plot, which perfectly makes sense, and also has actions that will have lasting consequences. No, Deadpool is just silly bloody fun that looks cool, and to be honest, Deadpool and the Wolverine does that pretty well. I had a lot of fun with this one. Sure, not all jokes land, but most do, and there are some pretty funny moments. I really like Dogpool, Peter and Gambit. I mean, what's not to like about them? Dogpool is just lovely. Channing Tatum as Gambit is almost inaudible at times, on a level that we last saw in the 22 Jump Street movie. And Peter is just Peter, and that's as good as it gets. Of course the movie is filled with cameos and references, even digging up some pretty obscure or unloved characters, and makes some of them more likable and cool. I expected more from Blade though, and I didn't really need Elektra. Also, I haven't seen her movie, so maybe that would have made it better. I don't know. The action overall was once again pretty nice. I heard a lot about the fight in the Kia or whatever car it was, and while good, I had two sequences I liked more. The intro fight and the end fight in the street with 100 Deadpools. The movie is a lot of fun, as I said, and it works so well as a comedy that I can look over the inconsequential plot, but there are of course some flaws too. Some of the meta jokes are just too much. Mentioning that certain actors should better be killed off because of the budget is a stale joke, but mentioning and showing 20th Century Fox and mentioning the MCU over and over again is a bit lame. Stopping the movie to talk about the misses in the multiverse movies was also a bit too much. But not a deal breaker. Fortunately, the cameos and characters from previous IPs are handled okay. We don't have some shoehorned in shit like Ready Player One or Space Jam 2. I mean, at least they don't just shove everything they have on the screen just to promote it, and they do give some characters a bit of a story. Of course, Wolverine gets the most in that regard, and creating an actual and sad storyline for him was a good idea, I think. Deadpool's story kind of takes a backseat at some points, and at this point I don't know why they even bother putting Deadpool's girlfriend into the movies. It's not that I don't like the actress or the character, that's really not the case. I actually liked her quite a bit in the first movie, and even though she wasn't that much in the second one, her parts were still pretty effective. But here they simply don't do much with her, in my opinion, so why even bother? The TVA manager is also okay, but not great. But I thought it was a nice idea for a villain. Until they introduce the actual villain, which is just so nothing. She's not really bad, but she's just that type of cliched I'm a crazy villain type, which gets so stereotypical and formulaic at points that I kind of zoned out, especially towards the end. But other than that, they have some good characters, even though most of them get only little screen time. It does cheapen the ending to Logan a little bit though, I would say, but it's not destroying Logan. Well, I mean, it does literally on the screen, but both movies are standing on their own enough so you can separate them, I would say. I hope that made sense. So, Deadpool and the Wolverine, would I recommend it? Well, yes, if you like the previous two movies, you will also like this one. And if you like bloody action comedies, you can also give it a try. I would put it on the same level as the second one, which was also a lot of fun, and give Deadpool and the Wolverine an 8 out of 10. But I have also to say, it might be good to stop while you are ahead, and let Deadpool and Wolverine rest now. At least for some years, until the inevitable reboot will be made. Ryan Reynolds has managed to create 3 solid movies, and before things get stale they should just quit. But seeing how much money they made and that they already could continue with some of the plot threads here, they will probably crank out at least one more.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence. Who knows if you live or die? Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Want to do some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
Even snowboarding?
Even disco dust.
White girl interrupted?
Even forest bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Yes. I can't.